This is it, the launch of Passage Church in Southlake. We are so excited.
We want to know, are they Gateway 2.0 or are they actually separate from Gateway?
I would like to know where the funding came from. Be interesting to see the books. I would highly encourage people not to give any money to Passage Church until they show that they're transparent with the handling of their tithe money.
North Texas Church opens, and people are protesting that opening. That church being led by the son of Robert Morris. You may remember Mr. Morris. He was the founder of Gateway Church, now facing...
Wants to start his own church, but his father's controversy seems to be following him.
6 minutes. That's all that separates Gateway Church from a brand new megachurch rising just down the road, Passage Church, launched by James Morris, the son of embattled pastor Robert Morris. But now, people are asking the question nobody wants to answer. Was this new church built using the millions of dollars believers once poured into Gateway, thinking they were giving it to God? Is Passage Church just a new brand slapped onto the same broken legacy? Former members are protesting. Financial trails are being questioned. And right in the middle of it all, his son is launching a church just 6 minutes away, with zero transparency, zero statements on the abuse scandal, and zero answers about how that church is being funded. And what about all that money? The millions Robert Morris built up over the years. Money that came from everyday people, from single moms, from struggling families, from believers who gave, not out of abundance, but because they were told it was the only way to stay blessed. Will that wealth just disappear into silence? Or worse, will it be poured back into the same system that manipulated them in the first place? Let's find out. To understand this story, we need to rewind to the year 2000. That's when a preacher named Robert Morris launched Gateway Church. What started with a small group in a living room exploded into a global megachurch. Gateway wasn't your average Sunday service. It was production heavy, slick, energetic. Thousands filled its auditoriums each weekend. The music was concert level. The messages were simple, often prosperity leaning, and the vision clear. Reach the world with the gospel. By the late 2010s, Gateway was pulling in over $120 million annually. They owned massive campuses, real estate, a television network, a publishing company, and were releasing books and content at scale. The Morris family name had become synonymous with evangelical success, but not everyone celebrated. Whispers of financial secrecy, spiritual manipulation, and unchecked power began surfacing. Still, for years, the church kept growing, until 2024. In June 2024, Robert Morris abruptly resigned. There was no farewell sermon, no closing address, just a corporate-sounding resignation and silence. Weeks later, the reason surfaced. A woman named Cindy Clemisher, now in her 40s, stepped forward. She claimed that Robert Morris had SA her when she was just 12 years old, back in the 1980s, during one of his ministry visits in Oklahoma. Her story wasn't vague. It was specific, painful, and courageous. More voices followed. A grand jury indicted Robert Morris on 5 felony counts of lewd or indecent acts with a... He turned himself into authorities in March 2025, posted bond, and is now scheduled to appear in court on May 9th, 2025. A megachurch empire built on faith was now crumbling under the weight of unspoken truth. James Morris, Robert's son, was more than just a family member. He was Gateway's executive pastor, a rising leader, the face of the next generation. After his father's resignation, James also stepped down quietly, citing the need for reflection. But it wasn't long before he returned. In early 2025, James and his wife Bridget announced the launch of Passage Church, located just 6 minutes from Gateway. The announcement came via well-edited promo videos and modern branding. Their tagline was simple: a new place to call home. On April 12th, 2025, they launched. Same city, similar vibe, familiar leaders, and a completely new name. But for many, it didn't feel like a new church. It felt like a rebrand. Gateway 2.
This is it, the launch of Passage Church in Southlake. We are so excited. We are only 1 hour away.
That's right. We are super excited. So if you don't have plans or you can change them, be here 4 p.m. We'll see you soon.
On the opening Sunday of Passage Church, something unexpected happened. Protesters gathered outside its doors, holding signs that made their message loud and clear. But these weren't your typical church signs filled with verses or welcome messages. Instead, they carried words of grief, anger, and accountability. Some of the signs read, "No justice, no worship. Where did the money go?" And "This is not accountability." These weren't strangers or random activists. They were former members of Gateway Church, people who had once served faithfully, tithed consistently, and deeply trusted the very leadership now under scrutiny. At the heart of their protest was one pressing question: who funded Passage Church? Was this brand new church plant financed with the same tithe money that thousands of believers had sacrificially given to Gateway Church over the years, believing they were supporting missions, ministry, and community outreach? And if so, was James Morris now carrying forward the torch of leadership without ever acknowledging the fire that still burned behind him?
We're standing up for survivors of sexual abuse and assault as it pertains to the church.
Catherine Leach, who attended Gateway, says she also stepped back.
I was appalled just at the lack of compassion that was shown towards Cindy. I think any response that was given was damage control. It wasn't proactive in the slightest.
Catherine is part of a class action lawsuit that was filed against Gateway last year for alleged mismanagement of funds. Protesters we spoke to say they wonder if this new church has any ties with Gateway and are demanding transparency.
We want to know, are they Gateway 2.0 or are they actually separate from Gateway?
I would like to know where the funding came from. Be interesting to see the books. I would highly encourage people not to give any money to Passage Church until they show that they're transparent with the handling of their tithe money.
I reached out to Passage Church and asked if there's any connection with Gateway, but have not heard back.
As believers, we're not called to protect reputations. We're called to protect the truth. This isn't just a story about a church. It's about what kind of church we want to be. One that hides in silence, or one that walks in the light. Was Passage Church truly a new beginning, or was it a quiet continuation of the same unchecked power? And what about the money? Was it used to serve or to shield? What do you think? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you believe in truth, accountability, and a better future for the body of Christ. And above all, remember to fight for truth.